To Believe is the latest and most recent album to come from the downtempo new jazz band, the Cinematic Orchestra. It has been 12 years since the release of their last full studio album, Ma Fleur, or it's My Flower in French. I can't speak French. They have released soundtrack albums and live albums, but never a studio album. It's been a long time since a studio album. To Believe is 7 tracks, 53 minutes in length, making it one of their longest albums yet. The album starts off with the shortest song, the title track, featuring Moses Sumney. This track starts off with a simple yet effective guitar progression that is then layered with strings and percussion, woodwinds as well, and then you hear Sumney start singing on this track, and it is very angelic. Everything comes together so nicely on this track, makes it very, very enjoyable. The next track, A Cage Bird / Intimidations of Life, features none other than Roots Manuva. This track starts off with a set of claps and hi-hats that play alongside a piano, and then Roots enters the track. When he enters the track, it's almost this spoken word kind of thing as more instruments kind of pile along. You will notice that a lot in this album, that instruments usually just pile on top of one another, and then there's this grand chorus. When Roots starts to actually sing on this track, then you hear all of the instruments just pile on top of one another, making this grand chorus, and it's beautiful. The strings, the woodwinds, the percussion, Roots is singing, it all comes together so nicely. This happens in the second chorus as well, but then after that, it kind of trails off into this instrumental break, which is really nice. It includes orchestral-sized strings that sound like they were recorded in like a symphony or something. After that, we get the purely instrumental song, Lessons. I love the percussion on this track that are accompanied with the myriad of different instruments that are played on this song. It captivates me. I don't think I get bored while listening to this track. In fact, I don't get bored while listening to most of this album. Wait For Now / Lead the World is the next song, and it features British neo-soul singer and songwriter Tawia. Her vocals on this track are nice, impeccable, and the way they work with the instrumental is incredible. Quaint, quiet, beautiful. When the track hits its chorus, it's ethereal. The second half is just as great as the first half. Again, with the layering and building upon each instrument as the song progresses. The crescendo is impactful and memorable. Workers of Art is another purely instrumental track. It starts off with a simple chord progression that then actually quiets down and then returns after the instruments build upon each other. It's a more classical piece of music. This track builds upon itself, then gets quiet, and then builds upon itself and gets quiet again. I think my main issue with this track is that it kind of leads to nowhere. The build-ups, they have no peak. It's not a bad track, nevertheless. The next track, 01 / This Fantasy, features Grey Reverend. It's also similar to the track featuring Roots Manuva, but the build-up is quicker and louder. But as quick as the build-up is, the fall is also fast, and it approaches very quickly. It does pick back up again when Grey starts to sing. His vocals are incredible. The instrumentals are really atmospheric and are well accompanied with Grey's vocals. The closing track, A Promise, featuring Heidi Vogel, is a great way to end this album. There are these loud strings that accompany Heidi's vocals that they work so well. It's very nice. It feels like together they're reaching so high as Heidi does get into her upper register. They're both, the instrumental and her vocals, feel like they're reaching for the sky. There's only more flavor added when the percussions come into the track as well. And at 11 minutes in length, this is a beast of a track. And just as quickly as it started, this album ends. This album is great. It is probably the reason why the Cinematic Orchestra is named the Cinematic Orchestra. An ambitious piece of work that is highly enjoyable and extremely ethereal. My only problem is that sometimes the build-ups lead to nowhere, sometimes there's just a little too much repetition within the songs. Other than that, I think this is a very, very good album from the band. A very good comeback album. All in all, grading-wise, I'll give this album an A-. It is very well done. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this album down below. I hope to see you in the next video. Let me know what I can do to make my videos any better and recommend me some music to listen to. Thank you for watching, and remember, sour cream and onions are the best Pringles. There's no debate in this.